Welcome, dear viewers. The topic of today's discussion is postmodernism, distinctive features only. Postmodernism, distinctive features. We are starting understanding what have been the distinctive features of postmodernist theories. We cannot explore right now what have different thinkers in postmodernism said, but we'll focus on this lecture only on the distinctive features, part of narratives and making of literary orientations in society. When we understand postmodernism, we have to understand that this particular phase of theory forms a part of narratives and making of literary orientations in society. Theory building has passed through different stages. We have had conflict theories, functional theories, we have other theories, symbolic interactionism, modernism, postmodernism. So theories have also went through or passed through different stages. This particular phase of theory, postmodernist phase of theory, is also a part of that theoretical narratives. Focus of the studies of different subjects change from time to time depending on the socio-cultural and other eventualities and changes in the social setups. Focus of academics, focus of theory building, focus of studies have been shifting from time to time. It has changed from time to time, and it largely depends on the socio-cultural forces and eventualities and changes in the social setups. Narratives in theory buildings focus on the ways of getting answers to questions researchers and theorists start with. How does this change come? Why does this change come? This change comes because theorists and researchers or social scientists start with answering a question, start with designing a question to which they seek an answer. And while seeking an answer to that particular question which they had set to study, they start exploring the socio-cultural features of a particular society, which then tells that what happened, the forces for bringing about the change which is there in society at present. Postmodernism mainly deals with the debate whether scientific model is appropriate to study society or not. This is where postmodernism actually begins, and this is where actually it ends. The basic content to understand is this particular doubt, this particular hypothesis, this particular question that whether the scientific model to understand society is appropriate or not. Theories and propositions that led to the emergence of postmodernism approach. They start with Auguste Comte. According to Auguste Comte, positivist science is major component which influence religion and superstition. If you refer back to Auguste Comte theory about theology, about stages of development of society, he usually or he focuses on one particular thing, that how the change has come through the change of mind of people when they had believe in theology, when they had believe in God, the unknown power, and then this particular change shifted to their belief in what they believe in, positivist science, logistic science. Now, according to Auguste Comte, positivist science had dominated the religion and superstition. When people became positive in approach, they started dominating their own orthodox beliefs and religious beliefs and superstitious beliefs. Max Weber, when we talk about Max Weber, he fully believed rationality and bureaucracy would increasingly shape the modern ages as traditional and effective actions have become lesser important. Weber said that there was a time when traditional action or emotional action or effectual action in the terms, they were more important, they were dominant. People used to behave, people used to act, people used to think depending upon traditions, depending upon their emotionality, depending upon their effectuality. But then Weber said that with the change of time, people started believing in rationality. That is the cause and effect relationship. They started believing in logic, almost resembling what Auguste Comte said in the stage of positivism. Say, Auguste Comte believes that the positivist approach, the scientific approach, started dominating religion and superstition. And this is what almost similar Weber said, that the changes the tradition and the affection or emotional action. He says that rationality or science started dominating traditional and effectual choices of the individuals. Marx and Durkheim. Later on, they focused lesser on science, of course, but said that society is developing progressively. Although we don't find actual focus, actual thirst on science in Marxian and Durkheimian theories, but we notice that they have talked about progress in society. Their concepts of communist utopia and organic solidarity, respectively, reflect thoughts. Now, when we talk of Karl Marx communist utopia, when we talk of Durkheim's organic solidarity, we try to understand, we see that there is a reflection of science, there is a reflection of something which is similar to science and logistics. Postmodernism says science, now we are coming on the main thrust of the topic or this particular discussion. Postmodernism says science cannot be taken as a factor of social change. Now, Marx, Weber, Durkheim, Comte, all of them have directly or indirectly talked about science as a factor of change, logistics, rationality as a factor of change. But postmodernist theories, postmodernist thinkers, or postmodernism as a phase of theory challenge these propositions. Postmodernism says that science cannot be solely taken as a factor of social change. Postmodernism is a response to the phase of theory which stated that scientific analysis of society is the best form of analysis of society. Now, postmodernists, they do not reject that science is important. They do not say that science is not important, but they say that science is not the indispensable factor to understand society. Science is not the indispensable factor to analyze society. Scientific analysis focus on discovering rationality, establishing logics, and finding and interpreting the social laws that are believed to be governing the society. They say that what science does, what scientific analysis does, or what it focuses on discovering rationality. It focuses on discovering the cause and effect in a particular situation, the cause and effect in a particular phenomena. It establishes logics and findings and interpreting the social laws. Now, postmodernist says that science or scientific analysis focuses on establishing what are the social laws that govern society, which is actually not possible, which is actually not reliable. Human behavior. Now, what are the reasons postmodernism is giving to equate or elaborate their findings or their statements or their opinions? They say that human behavior is purposive. There is a purpose behind human behavior. There is a purpose, there is an aim behind every human action, every human attitude. If it is believed that it is governed by some set of social laws, it can be labeled wrong. Now, if there are some particular set of social laws to understand human behavior, for that human behavior has to be stable. Human behavior has to be similar on every situation. It has to be similar in every condition, but it is not. We all understand, and this is what postmodernism says, that human behavior is purposive. And when it is purposive, that means the purpose will keep on changing. And when the purpose is keeping on changing, the social behavior of human beings will keep on changing. And when the social behavior, human behavior is not similar, then how can one particular set of social law govern it in every situation? Nothing specific governs human behavior. Postmodernism says or states that nothing specific governs human behavior since it is not same in all situations and it has different causes and different implications. When human behavior is not same, when it is having different causes, different factors, different implications, then particular set of laws, particular set of rational principles, particular set of logics cannot govern it always. This is the scientific interpretation of human behavior, which is not acceptable to postmodernism. Pillars of postmodernism. The foremost important component of postmodernism is the rejection of the scientific canon, as we discussed. They reject that science is a canon, science is a force which elaborates, determines, explains every human activity, every human behavior. It rejects that there is a single coherent rationality. Now, postmodernism says that a single coherent rationality, one particular set of laws, one particular set of logics, one particular set of rational principles cannot explain the whole social behavior, which has a unitary nature or which can be applied to understanding of human society or behavior as it is. So one coherent set of particular social laws cannot be applied, cannot be used to understand human society. Postmodernism deals with classification of human society and hence rejects that it can be governed by a single logic or fact. Postmodernists believe that human societies are differential. There is not single society everywhere. There is not one type of society everywhere. We have different human societies, and these human societies are featured with different conditions, are featured with different features, different factors, different implications. Hence, societies of human beings cannot be governed by one logic or one fact or set of facts or set of logics. Its cardinal focus, the cardinal focus of postmodernism is fragmented, heterogeneous, and plural nature of social reality. Postmodernists believe that the social reality is heterogeneous, it is different, it is fragmented in nature, it is plural in nature. When there are so many differential aspects to be understood, when there are so many differential conditions and situations to be explored, then there cannot be a particular set which governs every situation, which governs every part of fragmented society. The differentials and diversifications in society cannot be explained by a set of scientific principles. There is an inherent instability in the nature of social reality and the human consciousness, and hence there is often a shift seen in concern and objective set therein. Hence, not a single set or rules can be used to govern to understand the social order. Very important fact, very important notion of postmodernism is to be understood. That is this one. There is an inherent instability. Postmodernism says that instability is indispensable in social reality. Social reality is not stable because human behavior is not stable. When human behavior is not stable, the reality cannot be same all the time. So the instability makes the changes in society indispensable. Social changes will be there. Social changes are inevitable and they shall happen. And there is a shift seen in concern and objective set therein. Hence, not a single set of rules, not a single set of logics can be used to govern or to understand these changes because changes themselves denote the changes in the factors of understanding of the society. Second crucial component of postmodernism is the concern with discourse and the text, a technical part of it, a very important part to be understood. The second pillar of postmodernism is their focus on understanding the importance and the function and the role of discourse, that is the communication, correspondence, and the text. The idea that words and meanings are socially constructed has also been encountered by postmodernism. We have understood, we have lectures on terminology, ethnomethodology, you can refer to them. In those lectures or in those theories, we understand that the meaning is constructed, the meaning is given by the members of society to a particular situation. And those meanings are constructed, and those meanings then further construct the social reality. But postmodernism, having their focus on discourse and text, also encounters this particular proposition. Language. Postmodernism says language, especially the language of written text, is its major concern and sole source of material evidence for the propositions postmodernism sets. Reference to Derrida and Foucault. These two names are the pillars of postmodernism. Reference to these two names is important here since they are the names known to be the pillars of postmodernism. Derrida on deconstruction. We will refer to Derrida's theory of deconstruction of text under this particular realm of discussion of postmodernism. Derrida focused on an approach to understand relationship between text and the meaning. His major focus has been the focus on relationship which exists between the text, the written words, the written language or the symbols and the meaning, and what meaning is given to them, what meaning is given by them, what meaning is intended by them, and what meaning is actually understood by the readers or by the viewers. This approach explains reading the text and looking for things that run totally counter to the intended meaning. Derrida says that we have to understand except one fact, that whatever the text says, we can see this particular was used here, looking for the things that run totally counter to the intended text. Whatever text is seen, there are some hidden meanings which run counter to the intended meaning. Maybe the message being given by a particular text is different, but the message being interpreted by the reader is different. So there are hidden or intrinsic qualities of the text which run counter to the intended meaning. The main purpose of deconstruction is to show that the usage of the language in the given text and language as a whole is irreducibly complex, unstable, and shifting. Language and symbols have meanings only because of the contrast between the signs, hence there is never a specific meaning existence. There is the main thirst. Derrida says that language and symbols have meaning because of the contrast between the signs. Meaning of one particular word exists because of the meaning of the other words or symbols are different. So this contrast between different meanings and different words and different symbols is the base to understand, and hence they say there is not any specific meaning which is existent. A concept, any concept, must be understood in context of its opposites. No, what Derrida says, that when we have to understand one particular concept, we have to alongside understand the context of the opposite meaning, the context of the opposites. For example, normal is to be understood in relation to abnormal. Speech and writing, being is to be understood in the concept of or with reference to nothingness. Means if something is existent, it has to be understood in context of what is not existent. Only then the complete meaning of a text will be understood and explained in totality. But only understanding is not enough. Derrida throws a very major component of understanding here. He says that it's okay, we have understood the meaning, we have understood the opposites, we have understood the contrast of the text, contrast meaning of the particular symbols or language, but only understanding the opposites is not enough. Deconstruction of a text needs to create new terms also. This is a duty of the deconstruction as a process, that we have to create new terms if we are rejecting the earlier existing terms or the meanings attached to them. Critical analysis is powerful only if workable alternatives are given. Now, Derrida is very strongly creating research gap here. Derrida is very strongly creating academic gaps here to understand, explore more, and add to the existing theory. He says it's okay. Critical appraisal is adequate. Critical appraisal is good enough to be a good academician, to be a good researcher, to be a good social scientist. But critical appraisal is workable only if one is potent enough, potential enough to give workable alternatives to the rejected notions. Foucault on power and knowledge. Foucault on power and knowledge. He primarily addressed the relationship between power and knowledge, and hence they are used, he says, they are used as forms of social control to societal institution. Focus more in major component, major thirst has been understanding power and knowledge as components of postmodernism. He says power and knowledge are used as form of social control by institutions and various groupings of society. His typology of power consists of three types of power: sovereign power, which focuses on authority of the ruler; disciplinary power, which focuses on the obedience by the people; and biopower, which focuses on living and life, the power which is internal to individuals, to societies, and not external to human beings. Conclusion: knowledge is not an end, but a means to be bought, sold, and also fought over. Postmodernism has put a thirst on this point, that knowledge is something which is a means to achieve, which is a means to be bought and sold and even fought over. It is such a credential of modern society. It is no longer to be believed that reason can conquer superstition. Postmodernism says, or postmodernist says, that we are not to blindly believe that reason, logic, science is the power to conquer superstition, because this thing was possible when society was similar, it was homogeneous. But they say society is not homogeneous. Society is heterogeneous, it is fragmented. Hence, we cannot rely on one particular logic that actually makes us empowered to conquer superstition. So, one reason or only science or only rationality, only logic cannot rule human behavior, cannot overdo, cannot dominate, cannot conquer superstition. Next, human behavior cannot be predicted and hence no single logic governs it. Distinctive feature of postmodernism focuses majorly on this thirst, focuses majorly on this proposition that human behavior cannot be predicted because it is purposive. The purpose may change from one time to other. The purpose may change from one point of condition to other condition. The purpose may change from one place to other. And when the purpose is changing, the action cannot be predictable. The human action, human behavior cannot be predicted. And when it cannot be predicted, so no single logic can govern it. These were the particular focuses of the human behavior as understood by postmodernism. Statements are not judged as being true or false. Postmodernism says that statements cannot be judged and are not supposed to be judged as true or false. Rather, they have to be understood and deconstructed to achieve the aim of understanding human societies. Now, postmodernism says that blindly don't go for judging the statements. Are they right or are they wrong? Just believe in understanding the statements and using them to understand the human society and different ways of achieving the aims of human society. Another conclusory remark is people no more move in the search of one great truth which governs society. Now, postmodernists believe that now, when we are fragmented, now, when we are differential, now, when we are heterogeneous, we no more want to search one great truth which governs us. People no more have a search for one great truth which governs human society, their social setups of society. Since the society is featured with fragments and multiplicity, and again, no single truth can encompass it as a whole. Thank you so much. God bless you all. See you very soon for next series of lecture.